Okay, so I figured out what I was doing wrong. So when you bring in a reference file, you can move it around, but you need to group it first. So like if I wanted to move this piece, I could press Control G to put it in the group, and I can move it up to where I need it to be. Press this one, Control G, can position it where I want it to be. Now if I don't want these to be identical, I can rotate this one 180 degrees. Okay, and now if I go back to my plank file here, I could edit this. I'll do something kind of extreme just to show you that it's working. Save it. Go back to my referenced in folder and select these. Well, let's just go to my reference editor actually, and right click on this and say reference, reload reference. Okay, now it's going to take that change, it's going to keep its location. So I could do that with all of them. And in fact, next time I open up my file, all of this would have happened automatically. I would not be able to stop it from happening. So there's all my planks that are referenced in taking in that change. So that's how you use the reference editor. You could probably stop watching the tutorial here, but I'm going to go ahead and update the post a little bit just so we can make this happen one more time. So to remove a reference, because I already moved the posts and I didn't really want to, I'm going to select both these posts, right click reference, and I'm going to remove reference. So that gets rid of them. You can't just delete a reference. You have to do a remove reference. Okay, so back in my reference editor, I'm going to add a new reference. Go to post. There it is, created. I'll go ahead and add 2 of them. Okay. Now, when you press Control G, this is what's really going on. So if I go to Window, Hypergraph Hierarchy, this is a list of all the different nodes in my scene. And right now this node is called pcube1, and this one's pcube1 also, because they're both referenced in from the same file. So I need to grab these and press Control G to put them inside of a group. Now I can move these around and scale them and do all that sort of fancy stuff with the group that they belong to. In fact, let's make this go down to the ground. Okay. Now if I want to select a group, I can just select the geometry that belongs to the group and then press up on my keyboard. You'll see the change over here in the channel box. And then I can move this over to the side. I can do that same thing with the other one. Move it over here. And now my posts supposedly are in position. Save this. And then I'm going to switch to my other file. I'm going to undo this heinous move. Save it. I'm going to open my post file, and I'm going to add a lot more detail to my posts. So I'm going to add some divisions along the height. Go to face mode, select all these faces. Extrude, just do a little bit of modeling. Same thing up here. going to make these kind of rickety, I guess, warped. Okay, we'll call that good. And if I'm completely done with my model, you always want to go to Edit, Delete by Type History, and you want to freeze transforms, and then you'll want to rename it. So we'll call it Post, save it. Okay, so now when I open up my other file, look at my reference editor, go to Post, right click on it, Reference, and reload. So it looks like I didn't move the right thing. So it didn't put it in my group. So if this happens to you, it's probably because it got renamed. And you can just put that in your group where you know it needed to be, and then you can zero out the transforms, is what it's called. The translate attributes, the rotate attributes, and the scale attributes. If you turn the rotates and translates to all to 0 and the scales to 1, then it will assume what happened to it from the group 4. Okay, and in fact I'm sure that happened because I renamed the node. So I can do the same thing here. It's going to pop back. Because I renamed it. So all I have to do is parent it back to the appropriate group that had the move on it. I'm going to zero out all this stuff. And it's back to where it was. So you want to go ahead and rename your things appropriately. Anyway, and that's about all there is to using the reference editor and creating your set in a way that is a lot more easy to adjust and not lose work or create extra work for yourself.